Okay, so I promised someone on Instagram yesterday I would share how I made this square. I've got no idea if it's a pattern anywhere else, but I'm just going to show you how I make it. It's pretty straightforward. So first of all, I was just using offcuts or bits and pieces of cotton yarn that I had. 8 ply, this is a 3mm hook. You can also use a 2.5 if you want that really tight tension. First of all, just chain 4, join to make a loop. You can do a magic circle if you wish. And then I like to crochet over that circle. So just chain 2 and then US crochet terms, double crochet 11 to make a circle. I'll meet you at the end of that. So 11 double crochet. Forgive the fairly bad light here. That's just how it is today. So I've done 1 double crochet. I'm going to do 10 more. We're going to join it with a slip stitch to make a circle. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so there we go. I have crocheted over the end, so that has covered that end, which is a bad habit of mine, which some people may or may not agree with. And I'm going to go, we've got chain 1, chain 2, and I'm going to do a slip stitch into that 3rd chain or the first one there. So that makes a circle and there should be 12 stitches around that circle. Then I'm going to fasten off and we'll start the next round. So I'm going to start round 2 by holding both of those ends there, here for tension. And I like to always start with a standing stitch. Now this is a little bit fiddly. This is like when you make a sunflower. If anyone's done my sunflower pattern, you already know this bit. It's just, I forget what it's called. Is it called a cluster? Whatever it's called. You put 1 stitch through. I'm holding on to that. And then yarn over, put it through, pull through a loop, and you're pulling through a loop 4 times until you've got, I think, 5 on the loop there. 1 and 2. Very clumsy when I'm doing it on video. So much easier when no one's watching me. 3. It's a little bit fiddly at the start, mainly because I'm trying to cover the ends here. And 4 and pull it through. And then you do 1 chain. Now I haven't started that very well. Pull up that again. I've got these 2 ends here that I'm going to attempt to crochet over. So again, yarn over, put it through, pull up a loop. I've already got 3. So sorry, it's 6 in total at the end. That's 2 loops. If you've got really thick yarn, you could do 3 loops and 4. So you've got 6 on the hook at the end, yarn under, pull them through, all of those, and then 1 chain. So you've got these little cluster things there, whether they're called clusters or I don't know. I'm a little brain dead today. Sorry about that. I'm just making this because someone asked me for the pattern. So it's a lot like making a sunflower at the start or a sunburst square. So you may even find better explanations in other places, who knows. So basically first 2 rounds are very similar to a sunflower. I've done 3 there. You can see I'm working over those ends. If you don't like the way that looks, you can always sew them in at the back. I'm just fairly lazy. And 6 again on the hook, pull it through. Sometimes a bit hard to pull it through. Try to keep your tension loose. And 1 chain. So I've done 4. We need to go all the way around the circle. We should have 12 at the end. So I'll meet you when we've got 12. Keep going. Okay, to finish round 2, you make sure you count that you have 12 little clusters there. Put your hook in through the first one. Pull it through with a slip stitch, fasten off that yarn. You're going to start another color, and again we'll attempt to crochet over the yarn, and later on it will be covered up with another round. So get your next color. Just a moment, I'm going to stop this so I can grab my next color. And after that, you're going to grab that end and the other one, and then you're going to chain two. So this whole round is just doing double crochet into the space between clusters, and then a chain two. So just continue all the way around. If you like, if you're lazy like me, you can grab those ends in there, chain two. Now they will stick out a bit there, but because we're going to cover that in the next row, you won't see them eventually. So don't panic yet. So just fastening them down with my double crochet, chain two. So just continue. They will stick out a bit there probably, but you'll cover them in the next row. So don't worry too much. Then into the next one, double crochet, chain two, and go all the way around. Don't worry if it bunches up and it's really tight. That's just how it is. It will sort itself out later on. Meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so I've worked probably about 11. You should have 12 spaces. So now count if there's 12 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And this final one here should be 12. Then you're just going to do a slip stitch into that first space, pull through the yarn, and again fasten off the yarn. And see how this is going all bunchy like that? Don't worry, it will be fine. Cutting the yarn, finishing off. Going to stop this while I get the color for round 4, looking like this at the moment. Okay, round 4, I'm about to break another crochet rule. I've got some fingering weight or 4-ply here, and I've been doing 8-ply or DK until now. Somehow, I don't really care, but if you care, do the same ply. Okay, this is an orange one. Again, we will start with a standing double crochet. I grab here, I grab there. I'm going to try and cover that yellow thread. And I'm going to, now this is quite an aggressive round. You need to be pushing your hook into that space there, and don't get it into just one of the threads because then there'll be a bit of a gap. You really want to push it into the bit that's right above those clusters and pull it through over like that, double crochet. And again, back into the same one. You're not going to finish the double crochet, you're just doing half. And you're doing this in total 4 times. So we're going to try to hold on to there. It's a little fiddly. You're also covering the other one at the same time. Don't hate me. Works out in the end. Relax. It's all practice. So I've got 4 loops on the hook after doing 4 double crochet into that same thing, covering the yellow one a little, pulling it through, and then chain 3, pulling through the whole 4 loops. Now I'm going to get that orange end, and I'm going to try and cover yellow and orange end at the same time. If you can't be bothered to do that, just weave it in later on. So then I'm going to go into the next space between the 2 yellows into the top of this cluster, covering the outside of the yellow, but leaving a bit of yellow here in between. And 4 halfway double crochets, leaving the loop on the hook. This time, since I had one from before, what have I got? I had one from before, I've done 3, and I've got 1 more. So you have an extra loop this time, and that's for the rest of them. At the start you didn't because you just started it. So that's what we should be looking like. It's basically 4 double crochets, but you're doing them halfway and then pulling them through at the end and doing chain 3. So I better 2, 3, and again, as I said, if it's too fiddly to cover the ends, don't worry, you can always sew them in at the end. Now this time I didn't go only went into one thread, so I've got to go into the right place. 3 and 4. All those loops, bring it through 1, 2, 3. So continue until you have 12 orange clusters, and that will be the end of round 4. Okay, here we are at the end of round 4. You've done 12 orange clusters, and then you just do a slip stitch into that first double crochet there. Whoops. And we've only got a couple more rounds to go. Keep trying to do that slip stitch, pull it through, hopefully at some point, and then we're going to fasten off. See you at the start of round 5. Okay, this square involves a fair bit of kind of stabbing, so if you're feeling aggressive, it's probably a really good one to do. So for round 5, I've got a different color again. Yet again, I will attempt to cover this as I go around. But first of all, you can start in any space really, and you can also start in the top of the cluster. So in the top of the cluster, we'll do, this is the easiest way, 1 single crochet, then another single crochet. So basically 2 single crochets in the top of the cluster, and then 2 double crochets into the space, into that yellow there. Try to stab it into, it's a bit hard. It can be a bit hard to do this, so you've really got to, that's why I quite like using the 2.5 yellow hook for this, because it's very pointy. So this is a 3mm, but if you want to use a 2.5, you'll get a tighter tension, which might look better. But basically this whole roll is just doing 2 single crochet on top of the cluster, and then 2 double crochet into the space, but not exactly into the space, into the top of the stitch in the yellow row there, pushing it through. Even if you're feeling quite aggressive, doesn't matter, just stab it in there. Enjoy. I'm not advocating stabbing, obviously, but it's okay to do it with crochet only. So what am I saying? Basically, I'm just trying to think and speak as I crochet, which is not always easy. So this is what we've got. 2 single crochet above the orange cluster, 2 double crochet into the top of the yellow, and continue all the way around. See you at the end of this round. You might want to think about how you contrast the colors. I've just randomly picked them, as you can see. Okay, not the neatest square in the world, or circle, sorry. We're about to turn this circle into a square. I want you to count around here. You should have 48 stitches. If you don't, we can fudge it a little, but ideally you have 48 stitches. Then we're going to make it into a square. So fasten off that yarn, grab your final color. We're into the last round. Okay, we've got our final color, and we're just going to work this last round that changes this from a circle into a square. Yet again, grab onto the end and we're going to do yarn over twice. We're doing a standing treble into, we'll start with the stitch right after the knot there. So sorry, it's a little hard to see with this video. And we're going to work a treble in US terms. So 1, 2, 3, and then I bring that around there and I crochet over, and we're doing 2 more trebles into the same stitch here. 1, this is the first corner cluster of our square. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do 3 double crochet into that third stitch there. So basically skipping 2, the whole of this round you're going to be working into the third stitch. So for each side we will have 3 trebles at the corner, then skip 2, then 3 double crochet, skip 2 into the third one, 3 half double crochet, and then just repeat sorry, I have lost, yep, 3 double crochet, skip 2, and then, sorry, that was 3 half double crochet, skip 2, then 3 double crochet, and you can see we're making one side, skip 2, and then we're doing 2 lots of trebles. Now we're just doing 1 chain at the corner. When I say 2 lots of trebles, I mean 2 lots of 3 trebles. So we've got 1, we're doing 1 chain for the corner, and then we're starting our new side. So treble, 3 trebles, and then you're just going to repeat. Whoops, lost it again. What is it with video? You're going to just repeat everything again until you get to the end. So let's have a look. This is how it should look. Trebles, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochet, skip 2, 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, 3 treble, chain 1, start again, go all the way around. I'll meet you at the end for the slip stitch and just to finish off. Okay, here we are. Now, if you find that you don't have the exact right amount of stitches, sometimes I cheat a bit and I might only have 1 or 2 between in the last row. And you know what? Nobody cares. So as long as it fits in, it doesn't look too wonky, it's all good. At the end of the round, just going to do a slip stitch. And this is the end that you will have to sew in. So yet again on this video today, I've had trouble finishing rounds. We would chop it off. Congratulations, you have finished this square. It looks not so good in this light, but they looked pretty effective, I think, on Instagram, and they're quite dense. I like them because they don't have too many holes. So hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe for my YouTube channel. Please spread the word. Please tag me if you make these. They're not really called anything because I just did it randomly. Thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.